God over money, time ticking, my time ticking. I ain't even had fries with the Popeye chicken. I ain't even had sides. I was high five licking at the crib on the couch with the Wi-Fi tripping.
What up, what up? It's your boy Marcel Hall. Thank you so much for listening to the Hallway Podcast. As usual, we talk about sports, hip-hop, life, kingdom, you name it. Whatever's going on in the news, we talk about it. Want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and also want to say thank you. Thank you, truly, sincerely, for all of you who listen to the podcast. You know, your boy's just having some fun, but I appreciate the support that many of you have shown by sharing it with others or you know, sharing some encouraging words. So thank you so much for supporting. And if you want to support financially, you know, a brother will never turn that down. If you want to go ahead and be a sponsor of the program, you can always do that. Now, you know I'm playing, but I'm also not playing as well. So, 2021, here we go. Let's go ahead and have the hallway predictions of 2021. All right, so we're going to have my predictions here for 2021 on some major things throughout the year, but then also the NFL playoffs coming up, first round, and the NBA season. Now, let me say this. I am not a prophet, but if all these things come true, then you might have to call me Prophet Marcel. And if they don't come true, then just call me Marcel. Now, I'm not Nostradamus. But I do believe what I'm about to share with you after extensive research of 7 minutes will enable you to make friendly wagers with no money. That's the key, no money. Have you be very successful in your prognostication of the games and the events that will take place in sports this year in 2021. So, again, let's just do some quick hits before we discuss the NFL playoffs and the NBA season. In 2021, in baseball, here's what's going to happen. Dodgers, Braves, and Padres will battle it out for the NL. It'll be between those three teams. All right? And in the American League, the Yankees, they're going to get over the hump. And it is going to be the Yankees versus the Atlanta Braves. That's right. The Atlanta Braves are going to knock out the Dodgers this year. We are going to get our revenge, and the Braves are going to go in the World Series. And guess what? Braves win it all in 6. Braves in 6. Those are your predictions here. Champions of 2021. The Atlanta Braves win the World Series. In tennis, Serena Williams will finally win a major. She'll be tied for the most all time. In golf, Tiger will still be the only golfer that makes any headlines, and the only golfer that the average person will be able to identify. Boxing, what's going to happen in 2021? Here's what I say. Here's my prediction. The biggest story in boxing will be what the biggest story was this past year. And that is retired fighters fighting exhibition matches. Mike Tyson taking on somebody else. Floyd Mayweather taking on somebody else. De La Hoya said he wants to come out of retirement. Those are the only names. Boxing, I love boxing. I'm not sure what happened to my sport, but that's going to be the main thing. Unless we get part 3 of Wilder and Fury, but it sounds like there's some problems there. But if they want to make some money and bring the sport to any type of relevance in 2021, we need to get that. If not, the only story again is just going to be a bunch of old people, retired, middle-aged men getting back in the ring, trying to relive their memories, thinking that they can do Rocky 8. Now, let's just pray that we have no other former NBA players try to fight any YouTubers. Let's just pray that we don't have another display like we saw before. Because as I told y'all before, basketball players can't fight. They can't fight. So don't be duped by any former basketball player unless he's one of them hardcore dudes. And you know who those dudes are. Anthony Mason, Steven Jackson, a couple other cats we mentioned before. If it's not one of them, then expect a beatdown if another NBA player or former NBA player gets back in the ring. Let's pray that that doesn't happen again. Now, let's get on over to college football. I'll just say this real quickly, and I'll address the Alabama-Ohio State game. Let's just say this. In 2021 in college football, I can guarantee you this. USC will underperform again. It pains me to say it, but they will underperform again. They will be disappointing, not because they don't have the talent, not because they don't have the players, not because a lot of those guys aren't going to be successful in the pros, but they will be disappointing again until there's a huge change in the program. I just got to get that off my chest. Now let's get on to what's going to happen next week with the Ohio State-Alabama game. I think this is going to be a close and exciting game. Ohio State, I believe, is right up there with Alabama. I think it's Ohio State, Alabama, and Clemson, top 3 programs in the country. Everybody else is a distant second tier. That's your Georgias, your LSUs, and your Notre Dames, and all that type of stuff right there. Ohio State's right up there. They just have had some bad luck with not being able to get into the playoffs. So, Ohio State, Alabama, I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Ohio State has the offensive power to match Alabama. Alabama's not as good defensively this year. Ohio State's improving defensively this year. So both teams really are pretty much equal in that regard. However, the Buckeyes, their coach, this is the first time he's been in this situation as the head coach. And so that you have to give the nod to Nick Saban. He's been there before, and it pains me to say it because I'm not a fan really of either one of these programs. But Saban gets the edge. Alabama wins 38-37. 38-37. It's going to be an awesome game right there between Alabama and Ohio State. Looking forward to it. Let's get over to my favorite sport, NBA. Let's give you some predictions here. What's going to happen 2021-22 season breakdown. Just going to hit you real quickly here. Let's talk about who's going to make the playoffs and then who's going to be in the finals. We'll start on the East. The Bucks, I believe, I know they start off a little slow. They'll come back. They'll get the number 1 spot, but will do the same thing they've done the last couple of years, because I love Giannis, but my man still hasn't improved his game to the point in which he can dominate in the playoffs. He can dominate regular season, can go off against inferior teams, but the teams that are well coached and can match up with the skill level, that's where he falls short. I don't think the improvement of Drew Holiday really gets you over the edge. So I have the Bucks still getting number 1 spot, but I don't have them coming out of the East. Boston, they're going to turn things around when they get Kemba Walker. Watch out, beware. Still need another big man, but I think in the East, they can still make a lot of noise. The Brooklyn Nets, I know a lot of you start off talking about Brooklyn this, Brooklyn that, and we've seen so far they're losing inferior teams. Yes, I know it's going to take some time. Of course, it's going to take some time. But guys, let me just tell you this right now. Don't believe the hype. Brooklyn is going to be good. In fact, they could even come out of these, but they're not going to win it all. They're not going to win it all. Okay, KD and Kyrie, I don't see this working to be a championship combination unless Kyrie submits and to KD as being the number 1, but that's not Kyrie. Kyrie's like, I'm a number 1. I'll be 1A, you be 1B, KD. And that's not going to work. And I think they're going to have the same frustration and challenges that they had in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. But let's give you some more teams in the East that'll make the playoffs. So we got the Bucks, we have Boston, we have the Nets. Philly, I know they're starting off hot, but again, don't believe the hype. The players in the crunch time, I don't trust their judgment, but they'll be there. Atlanta, I think, makes a step. Trae Young is balling right now, and I like the addition that they have. They what's his name from Houston, the center? They got him in the mix now. He knows his role. I like Atlanta to be formidable in the East. Orlando, I think, again, with my boy from USC, Vujacic, he's a baller, and I think they're the same thing, around 7th, 8th seed in the East. Miami is going to be tough. The problem with Miami, I think they really benefited from the bubble, and so I do think that they come down a little bit. They still need another big man. I think they play too small, but Miami's going to be good. And the Raptors are starting off rough, but I think they turn the corner and it will make it. So again, let me give you here the Bucks, Boston, Nets, Philly, Atlanta, Orlando, Miami, and Raptors. Those would be your East playoff teams. In the West, we already know the Lakers and the Clippers, they're going to make it. I think the Lakers will be in the number 1 spot. Denver starting off slow, but they'll get it together. Too good of a team. Dallas, once they get fully healthy, and Luka's going to turn around and he's going to get these boys balling again. And then you're going to have, I believe, Phoenix. Phoenix is balling now with Chris Paul. Don't think they're a championship contender. Utah is going to be good, but same thing that they always are. Around a 4 to 5 seed, but just not enough to compete with the big boys. Portland will get there. Again, same thing. They just don't have enough to upend any of these top tier teams. And I think you have battling for an A spot, Golden State or the Pelicans. I think those two are going to battle. I think Curry's going to have to carry the team, but he doesn't have enough around him to propel them to be a higher, I believe, than the 8 seed, maybe a 7 seed. But I think they or the Pelicans will battle it out. And the West is going to come down again to what we thought last year, Lakers and Clippers. Who knows? I think the Clippers maybe don't choke this year, but the Lakers are going to come out of the West. Okay, they're going to come out of the West because, man, they have a squad. All right, and I think the Lakers take on Boston. That's right. I think the Lakers take on Boston. Don't believe in the Nets to win it. Philly, I've already told you about. Milwaukee, I told you. I think when Boston gets Kemba Walker back, and if they make a deal to get another frontline player to help out Tristan Thompson, they are going to come out of the East. They'll lose to the Lakers. It hurts me to say this because I'm not a Lakers fan, but the Lakers win it again because they got better this year. Now, that doesn't mean LeBron's the greatest of all time. That just means that the Lakers have a squad and nobody else can upend them this year. Now, let's get on over to this weekend in NFL, the first round of playoffs. I'm not going to give you Super Bowl picks right now. I'm just going to give you the first round picks here. We have Saints versus the Bears. I'm going the Saints win this by double digits. Then you have the Seahawks versus the Rams. Now, this is without the crowd. If they had the crowd there, I think it's an easy pick. I think you go with the Seahawks. But I'm still going with the Seahawks here because I trust Russell Wilson over Goff in the big moment. And if you trust Goff over Russell Wilson in the big moment, we need to get you checked out. And so I don't like either of these teams. I'm a 49ers fan, but I have the Seahawks winning 24-20. Going over to the Tampa Bay Washington football team game, I think this is going to be closer than people think. Washington has a good defense, and you know what's always giving Brady trouble? A front four that can pressure by themselves without requiring or being dependent upon blitzes, and that's what they have in Washington. So you have that front four. I think they're going to cause havoc. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I think Washington makes it closer than what people expect. However, the Bucs win this 27-17. Going over to the AFC, the Bills and the Colts. You know, I know the Bills are a hot team right now, everyone's pick, but the Colts are legit. This is going to be a close game. And I think the Colts have better defense, but the Bills have a good defense. But the Bills, I would give the nod, obviously, on offense. Here's the thing. They're playing in Buffalo. And I'm going to go with Buffalo's quarterback play over the Colts. I'm going with Josh Allen over Phillip Rivers. I know Rivers has a lot of experience, but Rivers is known to throw picks, and they're playing in Buffalo. Rivers threw picks in San Diego, and now he's been playing in a dome. He's going to throw some picks in cold weather. Buffalo is going to win this 31-23. Steelers and Browns, repeat of last week. This is a rivalry. Browns have talent. Steelers have talent. Steelers are missing a couple key pieces on defense, but that only hurts them in the passing game. That doesn't affect them against the Browns this week, and they had a lot of players that were out last week, so don't worry about that. Here's the thing. The Steelers aren't playing great, though. They still haven't been playing great for the last several weeks. However, the first time in the playoffs for Baker Mayfield and his Browns team in almost 2 decades, I'm going to go with Roethlisberger over Baker. Steelers in a close one, 23-20. And then the game everybody's talking about, Titans and the Ravens. This time, it's in Tennessee. I don't understand this, how the Ravens are favored in this game. And favored by 4.5. I'm not sure why. I know the Ravens are hot right now, but the Titans have a squad. I like the fact that they're tough, that they're not afraid, and they believe that they should win. And so I think the Titans are going to beat them again. And I think Henry might have a big game just like he had last year. I'm going to say this one is 27-23 with the Titans stopping Lamar on the last play of the game. So let me recap here for you. We're in the NFC. I think this weekend you have the Saints, Seahawks, and the Bucks. And in the AFC, you have the Bills, Steelers, and the Titans. I'll holler at you next week and give you the playoff predictions for the next round. I'm your boy, Marcel Hall. Tune in to the next episode of the Hallway Podcast. It's official.